Hello, it's Tracy from Cowbridge Library, and today we're going to make a garland which is on a Halloween theme. So in order to make this craft, you're going to require 6 pieces of card. You're going to need 2 orange, 2 green and 2 black. You'll need something to make a hole in the card. You'll need a length of string which is going to be about 7 foot long. Doesn't matter if it's string or cord or rope, anything as long as you can thread the pennants onto the garland. You're going to need a pair of scissors, a black pen, some glue stick, something to make some eyes, although you could draw these on if you wished, and something to decorate that you can make into a vine. Now I've used a small portion of a pipe cleaner, but you could curl some paper and make it into a vine as well. And you're also going to need a button. So to begin with, we need to sort out the pennants themselves. So to make the pennants, what you need to do is with the A4 piece of card, fold it in half widthways. So do that for every single piece of card that you have, and then finding the halfway point between the top corner on each side, by folding it in half you can make a mark. Then with a ruler you mark from there down to the bottom corner and down again to the bottom corner, and then you cut that shape out. Do that for all the card until you end up with this shape. Okay, this is the piece you're going to use, and you'll have 4 orange ones, 4 green ones and 4 black ones when you've finished. Don't discard these bits that you've cut off, because you can use those to make the decoration. So the first decoration that we're going to make is the pumpkin. Taking the orange pieces out of the scrap pieces of card, preferably the green piece, cut out some triangles. On the triangles you can either draw an eye, or if you can get hold of some sticky eyes or buttons or something like that, you could put red buttons on there. You need to stick on the eyes. Then using the glue, attach these onto the pumpkin face. So just a bit of glue on the back, and then just pop them on. Out of another piece of the green, you could cut the shape of a leaf, and you can add some detail to this by just putting on some veins. This then you can stick to the back of the pumpkin at the top, like that. Now I admit at the moment he looks like a giant carrot, but if you take a pen or a pencil and you just put some lines like that, these are the seams of the pumpkin. Then using the curly piece that you've made either out of card or out of a pipe cleaner, you attach this to the top where the leaf is. You may need to hold this for a little while to get it to stick properly. There we go. The only other thing to remember now is to draw on a creepy mouth. So you just need to there we go. If you didn't want to do that with a pen, you could cut it out of the black surplus card that you had from cutting out the triangle. So when you've made 4 of those, whichever design you want to do, you can do your own design by all means. Just use a bit of imagination on them. The next one to do is a Frankenstein. So with the green card this time, you need to pop on some bits and pieces that you've cut out of the black card. Now, I've just cut out some triangular shapes, which make quite spooky eyes. If you pop some glue onto the back of that, and then just pop them on to the card. And on top of that, you can add a couple of eyes to make it look a little bit more menacing. Okay. Now at the bottom of this pennant, which is this shape, you're going to put a piece of card that you've cut out into, it looks like a giant eye. A letter I. So that turns on its side, and then you need to pop glue in the middle part of that, and then this gets placed underneath the pennant, and that's the bolts in Frankenstein's neck. The other part to add to this now is a black fringe, which is just cut out of a surplus piece of black, and just make a zigzaggy pattern on one side, leave it straight on one side. So this is just done freehand with a pair of scissors, snipping in and out. Glue on the reverse side of that, and then that just gets placed as a fringe on the head at the top there. Okay, and again you just need to draw on a crooked mouth of some sort with the black marker pen. You could cut that out of card if you wanted to, it's entirely up to you. So that's the Frankenstein one done. And then finally, you should now only have 4 pieces of black triangles left, or pennants left. And with this one, we're going to make a cat. So using, first of all, some eyes, we just pop some eyes on there first, not too far down, about 1/3 of the way down the pennant. Now I haven't got 2 eyes that match, so I'm going to have odd eyes here. You can draw the eyes on, or if you can find some stickies, you can put stickies on like I have done. And then, using the black card that was surplus, cut some very, very fine lengths of card. Again, if you haven't got these, you could use paper straws, or you could use black pipe cleaners. Anything as long as it will stick on and look like it's whiskers from the cat. So these are going to be applied onto the pennant in that way. So you just crisscross them over and glue them well into position. On top of that, once you've glued it, you can put a little decorative nose. Now I'm using just a plain button, but that just needs to be glued onto there as well. Okay, so once you've done all that, the only other thing to do is to cut a couple of small triangles to make ears. So just with a surplus piece of the card that's left over, cut that and just stick them onto the pennant, one at either side. So once you've got all of the designs done for the Frankenstein, the pumpkin and the cat, what you need to do next is, with a hole punch, maybe get an adult to help you if you can't do this with a hole punch, you need to pop some holes in the top corners of each of the pennants. And this is where you thread the string through. So the best way I found was to thread the string from the front to the back and then bring it out at the other side from the back to the front, like that. If you alternate them between black, green, orange, black, green, orange, black, green, orange, black, green, orange, all the way across the string, you'll end up with a long garland with alternate faces. And that looks quite effective when it's hung up by a window or in the corner of a bedroom, you know, or around your bedroom door perhaps. So I hope you've enjoyed being shown how to make that craft activity. Just remember, if you want to keep busy and want some craft books, there are plenty of craft books in Cowbridge Library for all sorts of ages and abilities. So please feel free to go on the Vale of Glamorgan website and order them to be collected in Branch. Thank you very much. Bye.